When using MongoDB, what precautions should be done related to modeling, guys? What is like the way that you should model your database so you won't have problems in the future when working with Mongo?
Okay, I think you should have like the same thinking like in SQL, NoSQL. So you always start like how are you gonna read the data? Which fields or what queries do you want to use to get the data? So if you're getting like transaction from what company, you're probably gonna need like an index for the company. So you always think about like what kind of fields need the index to make fast, what fields you're gonna use to query the database, and then you add this index. All the other data they're gonna store in the collection, I think it doesn't matter at all, because you're not like querying for them. So that's the index is the really important part that you should take care when you're doing like this database modeling, I guess. How you're gonna read the data, and then you can go over and over to optimize this. And then you can use like Query Planner to see like the performance is pretty good or not. And then if something's bad, you need to remodel your database to make fast.
When you have a SQL database, you think about normalization, right? So you don't want to duplicate data. You want to avoid that at all costs, I think. And when you're using NoSQL, probably will have duplicated data. Like that's common. That's the way to go when you're using a NoSQL database. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think that does it make sense?
There's actually like the term that's denormalization. It's actually like the opposite, because like having the data that you need to read being close to each other, like the data that you need to read multiple times. Let me say, if you always when you're reading data about a user, you want to also read their emails, for example, it's way better to have the emails list closer to the data. So you don't need to try to fetch another place, and you can have index queries. Everything is almost like all of one, basically, to get this data. Quite opposite like how you would do that on SQL, because you actually want to avoid redundant data at all costs due to how like its structure, how the SQL mindset's made. So yeah, I think it should be denormalizing the data on NoSQL database.
Yeah, I think it's fine to duplicate the data. And then as you scale, like you're probably gonna have like different tables or different collections. You're gonna write in your database in one way, you're gonna read like another way. Because like your writing pattern is different from the read patterns, So you write in some way, and then you do kind of like processing like ETL, or use like a materialized view or multi-data lake. So you can read from the data lake. So you can have like more optimized collections to read this. This is very common, like if you have like reports. So in Woo, you have like many transactions per day, like millions of transactions per day. And then you need to make a report like per day, like how many transactions they did in a given day. And then instead of like reading all the transactions every time, we just materialize this, and then have like another collection, materialized view, where we save only the aggregates of this. So instead of like querying all this data, like millions of rows, I just query like few rows, and it's very fast. And it's always fast, because as you add more items to your collections, it's gonna be very slow as you grow. You can like do sharding, but like it's a lot of complexity that you should avoid if you can.
And if you want to host your MongoDB instances with a very attractive pricing and modern infrastructure, you should consider Galaxy. Galaxy is the cloud hosting platform maintained by Meteor software. And at the moment, we do support Meteor apps, Node apps, and Python apps, and of course, MongoDB hosting. Don't leave this video without clicking on the link that is in the description, where you can see all the prices and plans that we have made specially for you, and bring your database to Galaxy today.